For over a century, the Whodunnit has captivated audiences with its intricate plots and larger-than-life detectives. At the heart of this genre stands Agatha Christie, the undisputed queen of mystery. Her novels, filled with misdirection, hidden clues, and dramatic reveals, define the Whodunnit formula. Before Agatha Christie's masterful collection of work, the Whodunnit began to take shape with the work of Edgar Allan Poe and The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins, and nowadays has taken shape into more than books. The best example is the best-selling game Clue, which eventually became a film, much like some of the best Whodunnit novels, like Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile. Whodunnits are also present in theater, especially in West End, where The Mousetrap, a novel by Agatha Christie, has been showing since November 1952. Recently, a new Whodunnit took over the world. This Whodunnit is Knives Out by Ryan Johnson, with music by Nathan Johnson. Let's listen to its main theme. Today in Thematic Breakdowns, Episode 5, we will take a look at Knives Out and the shape of a mystery. The theme you just heard is what plays through the film's opening. Knives Out begins by establishing the location, an old manor. From there, we move into the interior of the house, eventually seeing what we assume is a maid taking a tray with breakfast to the owner of the property. One of the things that make us love Whodunnit so much is that we know the classic structure they follow. So, once the shots start zooming in and we see the maid can't find the owner, we already know what's happened to him. And with that title card and the end of the musical overture, the hunt for the killer begins. Now, let's begin to understand what Nathan Johnson does through 2 minutes of music to bring shape to a mystery and encapsulate the essence of the Whodunnit. Straight away from the track's title, we can notice a few key details. First of all, the track's title is Knives Out, indicating that this is probably the main theme of the film. Then we have String Quartet, so we already know what the instrumentation is like, and G minor, so it suggests a tonality as well. And through this, we begin to understand the theme's core identity. Now we've already heard the main theme, so we know it sounds jagged, fragmented, and angular. It sounds like a musical puzzle. The same puzzle the detective will have to solve to find the murderer. So to understand why this theme sounds like a musical puzzle, we will go through melody, harmony, rhythm, and timbre, the 4 core elements of music. Let's begin with melody. The melodic contour is built by sharp leaps and chromatic movement made from an initial motif. It creates a sense of unease. It sneaks around you, never offering a sense of settling. Now that is the opening of this main theme, and in it lies the idea that will propel the whole theme forward. So let's take a look at that idea. Now let's take a look at what that motif develops into. And one more time, let's look at another example where this motif is present in a developed way. The theme features a highly angular and jagged melody, often leaping in unexpected ways. This creates the sense of unease and intrigue we talked about. The use of chromaticism and half-step movement gives it a sneaky, almost creeping quality, and the short, fragmented phrases make the melody feel restless, like a musical representation of a mystery unfolding piece by piece. Now let's take a look at the harmony. The harmonic palette, despite relying on G minor, moves around with calculated dissonance and sudden shifts, keeping the listener guessing and mirroring deception. Let's take a look at the role of harmony in the opening of the theme. Most of the chords notated below are what this four-voice piece is suggesting, as most of the time the chords are not complete. Right now, the notation above the staff is putting the chords into perspective of G minor, and we can see we're borrowing chords that shouldn't really be there, like the second major or the E minor. Nevertheless, this is what the theme relies on to create that sense of wanting a resolution, wanting to find out what's home. Harmonically, the theme thrives on instability and tension. It frequently shifts between minor and diminished chords, keeping the listener uncertain and off balance. The use of unresolved dissonances heightens the suspense, while sudden harmonic shifts mirror the film's unpredictable twists. So let's take the time to listen and feel how the harmony plays with us, much like the story and the mystery do. Unresolved dissonances and crunchy chord voicings add tension, making the music feel unstable. And that is how harmony aids the melody into creating the sound of suspicion. Now, let's move on and discuss the rhythm of the theme. Rhythm plays a crucial role in Knives Out, injecting a sense of urgency and mischief. The irregular rhythmic pattern and occasional syncopation, played through short, percussive articulations, create a musical conversation filled with lies and half-truths. Let's take a look at this following long passage where I've added notes as it goes by to understand how rhythm is playing a role here. Rhythm plays a crucial role in Knives Out, injecting a sense of urgency and mischief. The piece often employs staggered syncopated rhythms, preventing it from settling into a predictable groove. These irregular patterns mimic the story's shift in perspective, making the music feel as cunning as the film's plot. And that is how, through rhythm, we get tension in motion. Now let's take a look at the timbre. The String Quartet offers an intimate, agile, and playful sound, relying on its sharpness and ability for rapid dynamic changes, obtained through both the playing style and the recording technique, which is very close-mic'd. Let's take a look at a long passage once again, where I've added notes next to the staff so we can see how the timbre is shaping the overall color and feel of the theme. The string quartet instrumentation of Knives Out is a deliberate choice recalling the elegance of classic murder mysteries. But this isn't a lush romantic quartet, it's sharp and biting. The spiccato and collegno techniques create a sense of playfulness, while the occasional sul ponticello passages introduce an eerie, whisper-like quality. The string quartet becomes the voice of the murder. Now let's circle back to the theme's core identity, jagged, fragmented, and angular, a musical puzzle. This, now that we've analyzed the theme, is built through the sound of suspicion, tension in motion, and the voice of a murder. Both melody and harmony make up the sound of suspicion. Through a jagged, fragmented, and angular melody that is sustained by unresolved dissonances, crunchy chord voicings, and an unpredictable harmonic language, we manage to build that sense of mystery. Then, through the rhythm, we get an unpredictable sense of movement, and that aids into always feeling tense as you don't know really where this is taking you next. And through the timbre, which is the use of the string quartet, and all the articulations we mentioned that the players use, we get sudden dynamic shifts, textural contrasts, something intimate and agile, but at the same time playful and sinister. So it is very clear what each of the musical elements is doing. However, why is it a puzzle? Why does it feel like a puzzle? And to that, we have to reach out to a fifth musical element. And let me tell you, it's been beneath our noses the whole time. Form. Let's listen to the whole theme and understand its form by taking a look at this moving graph. Now that's why it feels like a musical puzzle, because it's not a clear ABA structure, or necessarily a exposition and then development structure either. If we were to draw an intensity line of how the theme evolves, it would look something like this. And if you think about it, that's exactly the intensity line a whodunit usually has. If we were to translate these sections into the story, the introduction would be the realization someone has been murdered. Then we move on to meeting the suspects and their whereabouts. We catch the first liars, and the suspects start becoming erratic. Then characters begin to bond, whether it is the detective with one of the suspects or between the suspects themselves. And then we get into the final twists, the final stretch, the chase, the reveal of the killer. And now the time has come. The final accusation is done. But is it the right one? And this is why this theme feels like a musical puzzle, because it is through the use of melody, harmony, rhythm, and timbre working together to create something jagged, something fragmented, something angular, sharp, and unpredictable, that it creates space for the form to take us into a journey. A journey in 2 minutes that is basically letting you know how the story and the whodunit is gonna play out. Because the form lets us know that while it may sound chaotic and raw and unpredictable, there is order within the music. there is a structure, and that order and structure is what is going to help us figure out who the killer is. So, what are the key takeaways of this main theme that I love so much? First of all, clarity is the strongest, most vital element of a theme. While this may sound like it's full of chaos and unpredictability, there is order in every single note every single instrument plays. Secondly, movement and pace should be dealt with intentionality, always. Music will always be moving forward, so think about why you're making it move forward that way. Think about tempo, think about note length. And finally, expectations have to be addressed in themes, whether truthfully or not. So remember, main themes are there not just to support the story, but to provide a new narrative layer. Much like this string quartet, not only introduces, but takes the shape of the story. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of Thematic Breakdowns. It's the 5th one that's out there, and I've enjoyed doing every single one of them, and I can't wait to do more. So if you liked what you saw, the button is down below. If you want to stay up to date with more of this content, the button is also down below. And if you found this content beyond valuable, the link to buy me a coffee is in the description. I would appreciate it very much, as that would help me to be able to keep moving this series forward. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next one.